All right, guys, you're welcome again. Um, can someone just indicate if you can hear me very clearly? Okay, I think the sound must have been fixed. If you can hear me, please just indicate before I start. All right, this is good. So this is Success Unleashed, and it's going to be taking place every Tuesday by 4 p.m. right here in Abiding TV. All right. So I would like you to invite all your friends, tell them about Success Unleashed. It's going to be awesome and wonderful. It's all about teaching you powerful principles, powerful laws that will help you succeed and make advancement in life. Okay. So I really want you to invite your friends, spread the news around, and every Tuesday, 4 p.m., just hook up here and let's have a wonderful time together. Today, I can tell you that it's going to be very wonderful. In the next 40 to 45 minutes, I'll be sharing with you powerful principles, powerful laws. Many of them I've applied in my life, and many others, okay, are principles you can easily see in the Word of God. Okay, what God taught men and women in the Bible that made them to succeed while they were on earth. So we are going to be discussing all that. I want to say one more thing too. I'm not going to rush days, okay? My aim is to be able to help every viewer out there. So if you have questions, bring them on. Whatever the question is, I can guarantee you there will be an answer for whatever questions you have, whether it's in business, in relationship, in your personal life, in your career, and all. The principles applies to every area of life, every area of life. All right. So that's what we are going to be sharing. And like I said, I'm not going to rush this. So for today, I'm going to take just one step. And then next week, Tuesday, I'm going to have a part two of these principles for success and advancement in life. So without wasting time, I'm going to be sharing with you what I have simply titled Living Your Life by Design. Okay, living your life by design. Now, you agree with me that every one of us, we desire to be successful. Success is not bad. In fact, success is what makes you like God. That's very important for you to get. There are many people that have different notions about success. But let me quickly say this. Success is generic. It's a generic term. That simply means what I consider to be success for me may not be success for you. So everybody decides what they think is success for them. But whatever you think is success for you, there are some things that I think is important to be included in your personal definition of success. And number one is a relationship with God. Now, that's very important. Why is it important? It's simple. We are spirit beings, all right? And we crave for communication with a higher being. It's an innate vacuum in man that he must connect to something higher than himself. And in this context, connecting to God fills that vacuum. So, my definition of success must include a strong relationship with God. And then I also like telling people to include a comfortable life in their definition of success. Why? Because God designed a comfortable life for man. Right from the beginning, it was a comfortable life. Comfortable life. I'm stressing it. Comfortable life. Include that in your definition of success. And then you can include many other things too you want to include. But the point is this: we crave for success. We all want to succeed. We want to make advancement in our careers, in our relationships, in our personal life. In fact, life is all about advancement. Right from when you were born, you were a child, and then you began to grow. That's what I mean by advancement. That growth in your life, in your business, in your career, in your relationship with others, in your relationship with God. That growth is advancement. So without that growth, you cannot succeed, because when you keep growing, you enter the different level of success for your life. But this is the point. While we all desire to be successful, while we all crave for success, we crave for growth, for advancement in our finances, the truth is not everyone achieves that. Not everybody achieves that. Not everybody. And the reason is simple. There are laws, there are principles that governs growth in life. Let me give you a physical illustration for you to understand what I'm talking about. For a child to grow, all right, I'm a father of 2 children, okay, and it's a joy to me watching my children growing up. But you see, for them to grow physically, mentally, spiritually, and then in their cognitive functions, there are certain things that I need to put in place. If you don't feed a child well, that child will not grow well. The child becomes malnourished, gets some diseases that inhabits, or sorry, that blocks or inhibits the growth of that child. All right. Same thing too for mental growth. For a child to grow properly mentally, to be able to think critically, think to solve problems, to be able to relate with people, that child must be schooled. That's why we send our children to school. It's simply mental growth. So, growth and advancement in life requires certain things to be in place for them to happen. Unfortunately, when we grow up and become adults, so many people think they don't need to put those things in place anymore that will help them to grow mentally, help them to grow in their finances, in their relationship, in their spiritual walk with God. They discard them and then just live their lives anyhow. So that's why I want to share with you how to live by design. How to live by design. Life must be lived by design. It's not lived by chance. No, you can't live your life by chance and you end up a success. No, you can't live your life by faith. I hear people say, whatever comes, I will take it. Not for Solomon Ubi. I don't take whatever comes. No, no. I design my life. I decide what I want. And then I design how to go about it. And I function with certain principles that will help me to achieve what I have designed for my life. So stop living your life by chance. Stop living your life by faith. Whatever comes, I take it. Whatever happens to me, that's my lot in life. There's nothing like that. It's not your lot. Your lot is what you make it to be. So what do I mean by living by design? I've given you that definition in my explanation. But let me read something I put down here. Living by design simply means living with strategies and wisdom. It means living with the right values, the right belief system, the right thoughts, the right perception, and having your actions, your everyday activities, your decisions based on these right values, these right beliefs, this right thought pattern. All right. So you don't just take decision just because you want to decide to do something. No, you ask yourself, the decision I'm taking, what are the values that backs up this decision? All right. For example, I do not react when people offend me. Why? Because I have my value. I don't have to react. I don't have to fight back. I don't have to abuse them or shout on them. They can do that. It may not be their value, but for me, that's my value, to treat people with respect, to treat people with honor because they are created in God's image. So your actions and decisions should be backed by values, right beliefs, right mental thoughts, right strategies. Okay, that's what I mean living by design. That's what it means to live by design. Now, these laws and principles, I want to say something about it. These laws and principles, I like calling them mental laws. All right, they are not physical laws. Okay, they are not laws like the law of gravity, the law of motion, the law of combustion, the law of aerodynamics, the law of flotation. Now, they are not those physical laws, okay, but they are mental laws. Why do I call them mental laws? You see, because they govern the unseen realities of our lives. The physical laws govern what we see. For example, the law of gravity. When you throw anything up, it comes down. Why? Because there is a law of gravity around the earth that wants to hold everything to itself. It's a law. Jump from a very high building, you will land down. That's the truth. Now, it's a law, it's a physical law. The law that also makes the plane to take off, all right, breaks the law of gravity and suspend itself in the air. These are all physical laws. These are all physical laws. You are able to watch me now live through this medium because there are laws that govern the operation of this technology we are using right now. These are all physical laws. There are laws of in economics. There's a law of supply and demand. All right, these are business laws. You can't throw them away. They govern how the physical world runs. And listen, God made them so. It's not man that makes the laws and principles. Never. No man can ever make a law or principle. We simply discover the laws and principles God has put in nature and then also in the unseen realm. We only discover them. That's why there is constant research. There is constant research. Scientists trying to find out more about our physical laws, about our biological makeup. All right. So there are these physical laws. There are these physical laws, and then also there are mental laws. The laws that govern unseen realities. The laws that govern our unseen realities. And these are the laws I want to be sharing with you in the next, for today and then for next week and perhaps maybe the upper week again. These are the laws. Believe you me, if you catch them, your life will be changed. I guarantee you that. If you can catch them and then you apply them in your life, you will definitely have a change of status. I have used them. I have taught it to many persons. I've watched them apply those laws. Their lives have changed from one level to the other. I've seen many persons I've taught growing. Now, I also want to add, there's no magic about these laws. They are not magical. They're not magical. No, that simply means it's a process. It's a process. There is nothing like, wow, I just entered into millions. Wow, I just had that breakthrough suddenly. No, before you had that breakthrough, there were things you have been doing, whether knowingly or unknowingly, that kept building up to that breakthrough. So it's not magic. I don't teach people how to succeed by wishing or just by some magical thing there. I don't teach people in business and making money how to get rich quick. I don't believe in it. You may believe in it, but Solomon Ubi does not believe in it, because I believe that for you to make money, there are laws that govern the making of money, the multiplying of money, the management of money, and the multiplication of money. And you need to follow those laws for you to become wealthy, well established, what the Bible calls a good success. All right, so let's move on in this. Now, before I start with the first law, which I consider to be very important, let me talk to you about the basics. These laws I'm going to be sharing with you, these principles, you can call them laws or principles, I interchange them. They are what I call the basics for living a successful life. They are the basics for living a successful life. The basics. This is why the basics are important. Many persons overlook the basics. I've seen many people that do that. They overlook the basics in business. All right. I made a post today talking about the caption was, sit down, don't run yet. Yes, you don't run once an idea hits you. You don't run with it. You must learn to sit down. Why do you have to learn to sit down? It's part of the basics in business, because there are things you must think out, questions you have to ask yourself. So the basics are very important. before you start building a house, the first thing you ask for, or you need to do, or you will always do, is the building plan. Have not seen an architect or a builder who goes to build a house without a building plan, which is a design of the building on paper. A design of the building on paper. That's the basic. That's the basic. If you don't do that, you can't even start building. What will you be building? In fact, you can't. Let me tell you what happens if you don't follow the basics. You will waste resources, because you build a wall this way, tomorrow you come and say, I don't like it. You bring it down, and then you build it this other way. So you keep bringing down and building. That building will never stand. You end up wasting resources. All right? So the basics are important. Now, hear this. Hear this truth. Talking about the basics. Catch this very important truth. Everything about English, all the letters we write, all the many vocabularies we have, all the words, everything are taken from the 26 alphabets. Those are the basics when it comes to English. 26 alphabets. Everything is built on that 26 alphabet. So they are the basics. Same thing too with maths. All the science, the inventions, all right, they work with these simple 9 numbers, 0 to 9, or rather 10 numbers, 0 to 9, 0 to 9. The computer I'm using to do this live stream is running with that 0 to 9, binary numbers, 0 to 9. That's the basic. See, without that basic, the plane cannot be in the air. Without that basic, the ship cannot be in the water without sinking. Without that basic, you can't be watching me right now live. Without that basic, even the roads we drive on, the bridge we drive on can collapse any day. The basics are important. That's what I'm trying to say. The basics are important. In your life, always look for the basics, lay the basics or put the basics in place before building. If you want to start a business, look for the basics in that business and then build on it. If you want to start a family, look for the basics in relationship. What do you need to know as the basics about relationship? And then you can build your relationship on the basics. Everything have basics. So these principles or laws are the basics that controls life. Are the basics that controls life. Believe me, you will not want to throw them away. And the truth is this: for persons who are struggling in their lives, they don't know why they are struggling. But I can tell you, you may have thrown 1 or 2 basic laws and principles away. So you're struggling without knowing. So I hope that as you listen to me, you may be able to find where your challenge is coming from, and then you know how to fix it. All right. I'm like the medical doctor here, okay, who wants to show you. I'm trying to diagnose what the problem is, and then show you how you can fix it in your life. It may be in your business, your relationship, your career, your personal life, whatever it is. So let's go straight right into this. Let me give you the first law or the first principle, which I consider to be one of the basics of living a successful life. And what's that? It's called the law of mental equivalence. The law of mental equivalence. All right, you can write it down if you're writing, and I will encourage you when you're coming on this broadcast, always get a pen and a paper by your side, because I'm going to be giving you so much. I'll be speaking to you from my heart. Believe me, I really want to change people's lives. That's my intention for doing this. So the first basic law of living a successful life and continuous advancement in your life is the law of mental equivalence. The law of mental equivalence. What does that law state? Very simple. It states that your thoughts become objects. Your thoughts become objects. All right? Thoughts objectify themselves. That's what the law states. So this law of mental equivalence have to do with your thoughts. All right? Your pattern of thinking. And I'm going to be sharing all that with you, okay? I think I'll just stay with only this first law. There are five basic laws I've taught people in life, but let me stay with only this one for today. So I don't need to give you so much. I want you to catch this and then start practicing it. The law of mental equivalence, which simply states that thoughts objectify themselves. That means what you think consistently on, what becomes your pattern. Listen, not just one time thinking. No, it must be a pattern of thinking. A pattern, a pattern. That means every time you want to think about that thing, there is a way you think about it. Now, once your thought is a pattern of thinking, you have a pattern of thought, that thought will objectify itself. It's a law. It happens over and over. Have used it many times. In fact, have conditioned my mind to think in a certain way because they always objectify themselves. I'll give you a short story to show you how powerful that law is. I'll be giving you illustrations here and there, but get this first short story. Some years ago, I and my wife were coming back from a meeting, and I was the one driving, and the road leading to my house, okay, my house, yes, we saw a snake coming out of just the nearby gutter drainage system, okay, a little grass. The snake just came out from there and crossed the road near my house. Well, I drove and passed, but my wife does not like snake, and she screamed inside the car. I said, "Why are you screaming like that? Is the snake in the car?" He said, "No, no, 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 no. I don't like seeing snake at all. What's all this?" Now, we went to the house. For 3-4 days, my wife kept talking about the snake we saw just close to our house by the road. Kept talking about it. Kept reminding me about it. Kept telling me, there's a snake in this area. And then, whenever we are going out, not driving, strolling, maybe to buy something, she will always carry a torchlight, even though the place is not dark. And then she'll be pointing everywhere. So one day I asked her, "What are you pointing everywhere, especially in the night for?" He said, no, I don't want to see snake. I'm looking to see snake. I said to her, "You're going to see that snake again. In fact, you will see more." He said, "Why am I saying that?" I said, "Because your thoughts will objectify themselves. Your thought will objectify itself." Now, guess what? 2 weeks later, I think it was 2 weeks later, we're coming back again from another meeting, and we drove to the house, parked the car, came out. My little girl was the one with the key to the house. And then as soon as she brought out the key to open the first gate, before we could open our door, she saw a snake and screamed, "Mommy, there is a snake on this, our protector." And my wife screamed, I told you that there are snakes around here." I said to her, "Your thoughts have brought that snake right to the doorpost of your house." Your thoughts. She learned that day not to hold any thought she does not want. That's the point. Not to hold any thought she does not want, because your thoughts will objectify themselves. So, my first lesson to you is this: anything you don't want to see in your life, don't hold it as a thought in your heart. I'm going to repeat that. Anything you don't want to see happen or take place in your life, don't hold it as a thought in your heart or your mind. Yes. If you don't want to see snakes, stop thinking about snakes. All right? If you don't want to see failure, stop thinking about failure. If you don't want to see accidents, stop thinking about accidents. If you don't want to fall sick, don't have sickness in your thoughts. Your thoughts will always objectify themselves. Now, there's a place in the Bible, I'm not going to read it for time's sake, but there's a place in the Bible in Philippians 4 verse 8 that Paul told us how to think. He says, whatever thoughts are pure, whatever thoughts are good, whatever thoughts are of virtue, He mentioned some other things, and then he said to us, think on these things. So there are things you should think on, and there are things you should not waste even 1 second of your time thinking about them. That's important. But I must tell you this, it requires practice. You don't get perfect in thought control. It requires practice. And I'm going to go deeper as we go on into this. So first, I'm just trying to explain what the law of mental equivalence simply means. All right. So whatever you do not want to experience in your life, avoid thinking about it. Avoid thinking about it. Now, this is what this law means also. It means you have to take responsibility for your thought life. I've seen so many persons who do not take responsibility for how they think. No, you have to. You have to. You just must take responsibility for your thought life. What do I mean by that? You can't just allow your mind to run riot. You can't just allow your mind to think on everything. No. That is a simple recipe for failure. You can't allow your mind to think on everything. So you must learn to take responsibility for the thoughts you allow to settle. I use the word settle on your mind. You may not be able to stop the thought from coming, but you can stop the thought from settling. When the thought settles, it consolidates, and then it starts becoming a pattern or a habit of thinking. Habits are not only in behaviors. Habits are also in thoughts. Habits are not only in behaviors. Habits are also in thoughts. All right? So why you change certain behavioral habits, my strong appeal to you, wanting to help you succeed, is change your thinking habit. Change your thinking habit. All right, so let me take you to something more very, very important and powerful. I just remember a scripture also in the Bible in Romans 12, verse 2. The Bible tells us there, okay, it says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It began by saying, do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Why did he say conform? Now, that's powerful. Your thoughts will make you to conform to whatever it is. So, with your thoughts, you can conform to poverty. With your thoughts, you can conform to failure. With your thoughts, you can conform to accepting a struggling life. With your thoughts, you can conform to anything. With your thoughts, the believer can conform to the system and the standard of the world. So, if you want to experience transformation in your life, if you want to experience a change, which is growth and advancement, then you must renew your mind. You see, the responsibility is on you, not me, but on you. You have to renew your mind. Okay? And what do I mean by renew your mind? Simple. It's what I call in my lectures and teachings and coaching of people, is what I call MAP, Mind Adjustment Program. I call it MAP. So map your mind. All right? Map your mind. just like a city can be mapped, a whole country can be mapped. All right? And why do we have maps? For direction. Okay? So when you map your mind, you are giving your life a direction on how your life should go. I hope somebody's writing this down. Okay? And I also believe that this replay will be here, so you can listen to it again. The truth is this. We don't get this stuff the first time we hear it. You never get this stuff. You don't catch it the first time you hear it. Yes, it may be a light bulb moment. The first time you hear it, you may have an aha moment. That means your eyes is open to something new. But that does not mean you've caught it. I can tell you that from personal experience and from teaching people. So the Bible tells us faith cometh by hearing and hearing. That simply means one-time hearing cannot help. All right. Okay. Sorry, I think I had a little bit network issue, Nigerian problem. Okay, so one-time hearing is not enough to push you into action. That's just how humans are. That's how we are created. Okay, all I'm telling you are just our natural makeup, how God created us, and so that you can know how you function, and then you know how to scale your life. So you need to hear it again and hear it again. Okay, so map is very important. Map your mind. That means by mapping your mind, you are giving your life a direction on how your life should go. You're not allowing your life to just happen by chance. No, you are giving it a direction. That's a design. So mind adjustment program. Get into a program of adjusting your mind. How do you adjust your mind? It's simple. You replace thoughts you don't want with thoughts that you want. Yeah. Replace thoughts that will give you the objects of what you don't want with thoughts that when they objectify themselves, you'll be happy and you'll be glad with. I've often noticed that many persons have difficulty functioning with this law, this first basic law of success, which is the law of mental equivalence. Why? Because how can my thoughts be the result of what I'm seeing? They can't seem to understand it. I agree with you. Okay. It's difficult to understand because you see, we are more wired to understand the things our eyes can see and are more practical. So, talking about thoughts in the mind, I don't see my thoughts. And how are you saying that it's my thoughts, the things I think in my mind, that is causing my reality? Yeah, that's the truth. This is what you need to understand. This law of mental equivalent works on a higher spiritual law, which is the law of seed time and harvest, or seed sowing and reaping. Many of us, we know that one. Okay, the law of sowing and reaping. That's also the law of cause and effect. Everything that happens in life happens cause and effect. All right, there is a cause for something to happen. There is a reason for something to happen. If you believe that things just happens, then wow, I don't know how we can start helping you. Things don't just happen. There are always a reason. You may not know the cause, you may not know the reason, but the truth remains that there is a cause for why this is happening. So many times the results you are seeing is because your thoughts are wrong. That's why you're having the wrong result. I have seen people who have done everything right, especially in business, done everything right, even in their relationship, done everything right to move their lives forward, and yet they are still not getting anywhere. They are still not making any headway, not getting the result they desire, not seeing their businesses growing the way they desire it, even though they have done nearly everything right. And many times I tell them, the problem is not your doing, the problem is your being. All right? I'm going to say that again. The problem is not your doings. Your problem is with your being. The problem is not sometimes your doings. Your problem is with your being. See, that's why we are called human beings. We are not called human doings. No, you first become it before you can do it. If you are not it, then doing it will not give a result. So we are not human doings, we are human beings. And your being is majorly, not totally, but majorly what you think. The way you think, that's how you are. So the Bible tells us again, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So the way you think That's how you are. And that's your being. And that's what will be giving you the results in your doings. Okay? So don't forget, it's not what you do that really gives you the result. There is an underlying power or effect that you don't see. And that's your being. All right? So you must be the right being before doing the right things. That's important. And for you to be the right being, your thoughts is a major factor in being the right person, the right being, so that your doings begin to give you the result you expect because your thoughts have been aligned in the right way. Now, hear this. Stop thinking thoughts of failure. They will come to you, but replace them with thoughts of success. You may never have succeeded, so it's difficult to replace them with thoughts of success. But sometimes think about the little success. Think about the little successes you have had. Forget the big one you're going for. Think the little one, okay? Remember David. What was David's strength in fighting Goliath? What was David's testimonial? Apart from the fact that God was backing him up, but listen, he had experienced insignificant successes when he was taking care of his father's sheep in the wilderness. David said to Saul, I've killed the lion, I've killed the bear. I will take on this man. Now, how can you compare the bear with Goliath? But the truth is, your little successes are worth thinking on and celebrating. Many times we focus on the failure, how the business did not work, how the marriage collapsed, how the relationship packed up, how the guy that wanted to marry me jilted me. So you spend all your time thinking on that. And listen, let me tell you this. You begin to form a cycle. I call it, all right, a repetitive cycle that gives you the same result. Some years ago, I think that should be like 2 years now or a year plus, a young lady met me after one of my services. I'm also a pastor, for those who may not know. After one of my services, a young lady met me and she came to our service for the first time. And normally, I always like talking with those who worship with us for the first time. Okay, I enjoy having that close touch with them. So after I addressed them, she said to me, Pastor, I would like to see you. I'd like you to pray for me. She came into the office and then she told me two things. Number one, pray that I get a good job, the job I'm doing now. I'm not being paid well. And then number two, pray that I get married. I said to her, I'm going to pray for a good job, okay? But I'm not going to pray for you to get married. We're going to talk about that. We'll just discuss about it. So I asked her, why did you want me to pray for your marriage? Are you having challenges in it? She said to me that every time a young man approaches her and they go to meet her parents, preparing for the introduction or for the traditional marriage, before you know it, the young man will disappear. The young man will just disappear. And I said to her, I will not want you to hold that experience. Don't hold it. Let go of that experience. You see, because, listen to this. Failing the first time is okay. But the problem is this. When we fail the first time, many people make that experience of failure to become their way of thinking. So they always revisit it. They will not say one or two things without telling you how they failed. They will not say one or two things without telling you how terrible life has been with them. Now, this is the problem with that. You're going to repeat that failure. Yes, because you are creating a cycle. So a cycle of thoughts, and then your emotions, and then your actions, and then your results, which becomes failure again. And because you failed again, you have reinforced the thoughts. So your mind tells you you are a failure. So there are persons who have come to believe they are not good for anything. There are persons that will tell me, I don't think I can make it. Now, who told you you can make it? Who told you that those who are making it are better off than you? Where did you get your reference from? All right? Did God announce it from heaven and say you're not good enough to make money? You're not good enough to stay in your husband's home, or you're not good enough to have a wonderful relationship? Whoever told you? Your thoughts. Yeah, your thoughts. That's where it came from. And why? Your experiences. So this is what I'm saying to you. Learn to learn from your failure and then let go of it. Learn to learn from your failure and then let go of it. Learn to learn from your failure and then let go of it. You see, you failed. Thinking about it will not make any difference, especially when you're thinking about the failure in a negative way. But when you're thinking about it to know why you failed, that's thinking success. Yeah. You're not thinking about it to feel bad. You're not thinking about it to say, wow, I can't make it. You're not thinking about it to say, well, that's my lot. No, you're thinking about it to know why did it happen so that you can do something differently. Now, that's thinking success. So change your thoughts of failure to thoughts of success, even if you've never succeeded before. Sometimes you can read the book of someone who has succeeded and hold a picture of that person's success in your own mind so that it becomes your own, and then you think on it. These are powerful strategies. I've used them, I've taught people to use them, and they have had certain levels of results. All right? So stop the thoughts of failure, stop the thoughts of poverty, stop the thoughts of I can't do it. There's nothing like that. See, you can't do it because you've not learned how to do it. That's the simple truth. I never knew how to speak. I never knew how to speak into a camera. All right. No, I'm serious. The first day I had a camera before me and they were videoing me, I messed up. I messed up. Seriously, I messed up. In fact, my producer kept stopping me and saying, no, you're wrong. Say it like this, do it like this. And then look like this. Okay? Keep your body posture like this. Now, I had to learn how to look into the camera to speak with confidence, with my thoughts intact. All right? And I've known people who cannot even speak into the camera. I have had some persons when I tell them, okay, I'm bringing you on my live show. No. Let's not make a live show, okay? Let's do a recorded on-demand video. Because many persons find it difficult to speak before the camera. But you see, what I'm trying to say is this. You may not know how to do it because you've not learned it. Everything we know how to do, we learned it. We learned them. That's important. So stop thinking, I can't do it. Instead, think, how do I learn it? So you see the difference there? You don't say, I can't do it. Think, how do I learn it? Now, let me go to the next step. In the next, I think I just have maybe 10 minutes or 15. We'll be wrapping this up. The next thing I want to tell you is this. All the actions you take are products of your thoughts. That's how it works. Nobody takes an action without thoughts. Now, that's deep. I may not have the time to break it all down, but that's just in summary what it is. Okay? I'll give you an example. Keep thinking about a particular lady, maybe you met for the first time, and then you keep thinking about her. Your mind keeps going after her. You want to get her as a girlfriend or as a wife. All right? I can guarantee you, when you keep thinking about her, you will make the move. That's the truth. You will make the move. Whatever you keep thinking about over and over, that becomes a pattern, you will build the momentum that leads to action. You will build the momentum on whatever you keep thinking about that leads to action. In fact, that's one of the ways I've been able to take massive actions. I mean, massive actions. Actions I never believed I could take. But I know this principle, that if I can get my thoughts consistently on that thing, no matter how big it is. So if it's very big, I enlarge my mind to be able to accommodate it. And then I place my thoughts on it. Why? It will trigger the momentum for me to take action towards making it a reality. So your thoughts are, your actions are always influenced by your thought. All right? Because what you think on directly influences how you feel, and how you feel influences how you behave. That's why when you feel angry, if you don't have self-control, you will explode. That's why when you feel, okay, honey, the sex urge is on you. If you don't have self-control, you will look for somebody to do that with, because the way your thoughts will always determine how you feel, and your feelings and your emotions will give birth to your behaviors and your actions. All right, so let me start bringing this down. I'm bringing this down before I round up all the things I've been saying. Let me give you two more thoughts to think on, two more stuff, heavy stuff about what I'm teaching you right now. So the next thing I want to talk on is this. There are different thought frequencies. All thoughts are not the same. There are different thought frequency. In Isaiah 59, verse 11, in Isaiah 59, verse 11, God says, your thoughts are not my thoughts. Your ways are not my ways. So you see, just to buttress the fact that your thoughts will always give rise to your ways or your actions or behaviors. So God says, your thoughts are not your thoughts are not my thoughts, or are not like my thoughts, and your ways are not my ways. Just as the heavens are far off from the earth, so are my thoughts higher than your thoughts. So God's thoughts is far higher than our thoughts. That is why that is why his doings, his results cannot be compared to what any man can have. No, no man can have the results that God has, because his thoughts are far higher than our thoughts in frequency. All right? So there are different thought frequency. Now, let me bring that down to our everyday relationships. One of the reasons why relationships don't work for most people is because the two people in that relationship they are on different thought wavelengths or thought frequencies. Their thoughts are not the same. So some people say they are not compatible mentally. Yeah, that's what they say. They're not compatible mentally because they are thinking differently. And there'll always be a problem. You see, when your thoughts frequency or your thought level is different from mine, I will always have a problem understanding you. Yes. If we are not on the same thought level or thought wavelength, we will always have a problem of understanding ourselves. Yes, I can't understand you because your level of thinking is different from mine. There are persons that you don't need to kill yourself in relating with them. Okay? So in relationship, I tell people the first thing you need to do is to understand that person's level of thinking before you go deeper in that relationship. And many times, to understand how people think, you must look at their experiences. You cannot separate people's thoughts from their experiences. In fact, let me take 2 minutes to go deep into this. You see, our experiences, especially our growing up experiences, and then the other experiences we all have every day of our lives, they become our subconscious pattern, or rather subconscious file. Let me use that word for proper clarity. They become our subconscious files. That simply means the experiences we have, our mind stores them as a file. All right. If you look at my bookshelf here, my books are stored in this book holder. Okay, stop there. That's what happens when there's an experience. When I buy a book, I come here into my office and I place it in this shelf so that when I want to read that book or make reference to that book, I simply go to this shelf and I pick it out. That's how our mind works. Okay? Not our mind have the subconscious and then the conscious. So the conscious is what we experience. We are conscious of the experience. Now, when we experience those things, whatever they may be, sometimes good, sometimes bad, as you think about the experience, it gets into your subconscious and then your mind stores it in a file. Now, this is what happens. Any day you are confronted or you face similar situation, your mind goes back to that file and brings back what happened before that have been stored in your subconscious to decide how you react. Okay? So some persons, they have stored files of negative experiences that made them angry, experiences that made them afraid, experiences that gave them a wrong idea, a wrong belief of value, have all been stored in their subconscious minds as files. So the next time they are relating with someone and then they face a similar situation, maybe the person is saying something that they had experienced that some other person said that made them angry, immediately their mind goes and extracts, okay, brings back that file it has stored in the subconscious, and before you know it, before you even finish talking, they have blown, busted, began reacting, and you'll be wondering, what did I say that is making this person react like this? No, it's not majorly what you said. It is the file the person has stored in his mind. So the person is simply reacting, behaving based on another file in the person's mind. So you see, the way most people react to you and behave towards you is not your fault. So stop killing yourself about how people behave, about their opinion about you. No. Everybody have their files, their mental files stored in their subconscious that decides how they react, they behave towards others. So the point I'm saying is this: for you to get to know somebody's mental frequency, how the person thinks, check the person's experiences, because those experiences are stored in their files, are stored in their mental files, in their subconscious mind. They are stored there. So check their experiences. It will help you to know how to relate with the person. You see, because the person will be thinking from that level. And once you know the person is thinking from that level, you can decide how to relate. You can decide what to say and what not to say. There are persons I don't say certain things to because I know their experiences. I know their background. I know that if I say those things to them, they will explode in a moment. And there are persons I can comfortably say those same things to, and we all laugh over it, and there's no problem. But there are some other persons that I will never say those things to because I know their experiences and their background, and I know that if I say those things, they will trigger some fires that have been stored within them, and it becomes bad. The relationship can break. All right? So, when you are in a relationship with someone, try to know their level of thought frequency so that you'll be able to relate well with them. I do not relate with everybody on the same level. That's stupidity. There's nothing like that. You relate with people on different levels based on their own level of thinking. Okay? And let me say this to you. The reason why the rich always go along with the rich, the reason why successful people always interact and relate with successful people is because they are on the same thought level of frequency. It's difficult for the rich to truly relate with the poor because many times the poor don't know and can't know where they are thinking from. So sometimes they think the rich are proud. Not every wealthy person is proud, no. But because of their level of thinking, they behave in a way that the man who don't have cannot understand. Okay? For a man who don't have, using even 500,000 or even 10,000, okay, to get into a restaurant, for example, to eat, for such a man, he may look, come, are you crazy? Eating in a restaurant and you spend 10,000? That's the person's level of thinking. For the person's level, 10,000 is a whole lot of money. That's the person's thinking. But for the rich man, 10,000 is a chicken change. It's all in the head. It's all in the mind. All right. Let me be rounding this up, okay? There is so much I really want to talk about this, but I can't just go on, all right? So let me bring this to a close here. This is the last thing I would like to say to you. For you to grow in life, for you to keep making progress, one level of success to the other, two things. Two things. And number one thing I want to say is this: learn to think quality thoughts. Learn to think quality thoughts. Like I said, thoughts of different levels, frequency. The quality of God's thoughts is so refined, so high, so his results are supersonic. Learn to think quality thoughts. And the second thing is this: for you to be able to think quality thoughts, take away the lead, that is the cover, from your mind. Take away the lid or the cover, okay? Just like you cover a pot when you're cooking. Take away the cover from your mind. This is what I mean. You may never have made 100,000 before. You may never have made that kind of money before. But listen, that does not mean you should not think about 100,000 and make 100,000, for example, your level of thinking. So it's not about what you've handled. It's about how you can do what I call MAP, Mind Adjustment Program. Adjust your mind. Reset the mind from thinking thousands to thinking millions if you want to make millions. Reset the mind from thinking thousands to thinking million. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I was talking with a business partner. Okay, we are building something, running business together, and he said to me, "See, we're going to put our price in dollars." For the first time, boom, 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 it rang a bell in my head. I said, "Yeah, that's it. That's it." I didn't need him to explain to me. I understood. Now, we are not putting the price in dollars to make it more expensive. No, it's all a mind thing. All right. So we say to ourselves, if we are selling the product, for example, for 1,000 naira, all right, I think $1 now is 450 or 470. So that would be like $2 plus. So instead of saying buy it for 1,000 naira, I say get it for $2. It's the same. It's the same 1,000 naira Nigerian currency. All right, I'm using naira because okay, it's a Nigerian currency, my local currency. But any part of the world you're watching in, it applies the same. So I said, wow. Now, why did I go with dollar? It gives me a global mindset. That's why I went with it. You see, the naira gives me a local mindset. Now, there's no problem in selling in naira, Nigerian currency, but thinking dollars gives you a global mind, So that's an example of moving the lead from your mind so that you can think quality thoughts higher than your present level right now. Don't always think thoughts according to your present level. No. If your business is bringing in as a profit 50,000 or 100,000 monthly, that's not what you should be thinking on. You've already achieved that. So don't think about it. You've already achieved that. What should you be thinking on? 500,000, 1 million. If you're already making hundreds of thousands, stop thinking about hundreds of thousands. Start thinking about millions. That's just the principle. And listen, it works, because when you start thinking about millions, your mind will start giving you the ideas to reach that level, and also the strategies, the roadmap of how to make it a reality start popping up in your mind. So, all right, guys, I need to end this here. I've said so many things. If there are questions to ask, you can go ahead and ask your question before I bring all this to an end. But don't forget the main thing we have been talking about today, the law of mental equivalence, which says that your thoughts objectify themselves. That means your thoughts becomes your reality. And I've explained how that happens. Don't be in doubt if that happens. That's the truth. In fact, I give you one example as I end with this. I think I've said I'm going to end like 3 or 2 or more times. All right, it's just because I just feel like giving you more stuff. Today, we have a technology called 3D printing. 3D printing. It's a technology. Now, some few years back, this technology was, in fact, you could not think it. What's 3D printing? Where we now can print real physical objects from digital files. Think about it. We can print real digital objects, physical objects from digital files. In fact, as I speak to you, some motor parts are being printed with 3D printing technology. I also heard that there are some food, well, not cooked food actually, are printed with 3D printing. Many things today are printed with 3D printings. Even houses. Some houses, okay, not yet in its perfect state, but it's already been done. 3D printing, where through digital files from the computer, you print out a physical object. Now, think about that. Think about that. So you can agree with me that your thoughts will always objectify themselves. Wow. This has been a wonderful time sharing this powerful truth with you. I remain Solomon Ubi, and I'm going to be here every Tuesday by 4 p.m. for Success Unleashed. I would like you to tell your friends about this. Next week, again, I'll show you another basic law that leads to success and advancement in life. I told you there are 5 basic laws. So this is just one. Next week, I will be coming up again for part 2. Thank you for being with me, and do have a wonderful week. God bless you.